Hello everyone. Welcome to the 4th episode of my server play series of Test Pack Please Ignore. Yesterday I had a party. Don't have them often, but occasionally, which is kind of inconvenient given it was the second day that the server was online and it took me out of commission for the whole day. These early time points in the life of a server are like really some of the most exciting, so I'm kind of disappointed I missed them. But if we look, we can see this, the prettiest ugly cabin in the world, has had a couple of additions made to it since we last saw it. First of all, out front here, we have a Tinker's Construct smeltery. This, is the main multi-block structure for the mod Tinker's Construct, which allows the making of tools and weapons in a completely different way from vanilla. And I'm not going to explore that just this moment. Rest assured that I will spend some time on Tinker's Construct in the future. But because someone else has been so kind, we have this all-iron pickaxe that will allow us to mine pretty quickly. We also found in one of the chests that we came across while exploring for a place to call home this pickaxe of the core. So we are good as far as picks go, and for the moment we don't really need any other tools from Tinker's Construct. Once we start doing some big digging projects or want to fell a lot of trees really quickly, that's when we'll get a little bit more into the mod, because it has some really cool tools that allow you to do that. For the time being, though, I've been looking around at what I can add to the common experience on the server. We've got all sorts of crops people have been working on. Someone's made these windmills which provide a small but constant stream of power that's in part being used in this electrolytic separator to make hydrogen gas for the mechanism mod, which can be used to fuel jetpacks. I'm so tempted to take this jetpack, but for the time being we have other modes of transport, and, well, it's someone else's, so that would not be very kind of me, would it? You can see someone's made a nether portal, and it looks like people are mostly using the nether at the moment for its vanilla function, for having a quicker way to get a long distance. I don't think that we are going to need that for very long, though, because my first order of business today is to make a hub dimension, or age is what it's called, with the Mystcraft mod, which I will show you a little bit about in a moment. For the moment, though, let's just look back here in the cabin. We can see that they have made bunk beds. Looks fantastic. Love the style. Love the door on the end. Surprisingly, I think it really adds. But we also have, I believe this is an early game generator for the mechanism mod, but we also have automated ore processing with a pulverizer and redstone furnace, which can double the number of ores we get and then some, because the pulverizer has a small chance to produce an extra item with every process. And then the metallurgic infuser is part of the mechanism mod that can basically make materials used in that mod. Although I believe it's one of the steps into rushing steel, because steel is used in a number of mods, and I think mechanism is the mod that can most easily get it in Test Pack Please Ignore. Though I've never done it that way. Whenever I've needed steel, I've gone kind of the long way. And as you can see, they've also replaced our chests with these iron chests from, I believe, the iron chest mod. Yep. Which just allow extra storage in the same amount of space. But, getting back to Mystcraft. Getting back to killing a creeper. We are going to create an easy way to travel between all the various bases and outposts that people are going to set up. To do this, yes, I've said it 4 or 5 times now, we will use the Mystcraft mod. Mystcraft is thematically based on the Myst series of video games, and it allows you to make books that link to different ages, ages being the Mystcraft word for dimensions. Our overworld is one such age, I suppose. The Nether is another, the End, but you can make an infinite number of them, and you can specifically alter, or not alter, but decide what the various terrain and resources and layout of an age will be as you get later in the mod. To start with today, we're going to use some of the very most basic techniques in the mod. So first of all, you have the bookbinder, which allows you to make the books that you're going to use for the mod. The ink mixer, which allows you to make these link panels, which are critical for making the books. You need one link panel for every book. And the writing desk. We're not actually going to use the writing desk, but needless to say, it is involved in the more advanced functions of the mod, where you can specify certain aspects. Okay, that was invisible. You can specify certain aspects of the dimensions you create. First things first, I just realized, we are going to need a little bit of leather to get started here, and I think we are plumb out. So now that we have a redstone furnace, I'm going to show you a trick that I sort of tried to show you guys earlier, but failed because we only had a regular furnace. We have to find a zombie or two in order to make this trick work. Now it is night time, so we've got that going for us. Okay, here we go. There is a zombie. And there is his delicious rotten flesh. Just like Mom used to make. Oh, and there are a couple more, which we will also dispatch to get even more of the flesh. I believe that it is primarily my somewhat laggy connection that is causing the stuttering I was having with those zombies. But we got them, so now it is time to show you what we sought them out for. You'll remember when I put the zombie flesh into a regular furnace, it made something that I will refer to as zombie jerky, although that's not technically which item it was. I don't recall what it was called, dried flesh or something like that. If I am to believe NEI, when we put them into a redstone furnace, we should get, let's check down here, yes, leather. Excellent. That is exactly what we wanted. We are also going to steal / take. Well, we provided plenty of the items that are here, or were here to start, so I don't feel that guilty taking some of this pork to keep us fed. But at the moment, we're going to take this leather, and I will use it to show you, excuse me, how to make a linking book. So, first thing you need is ink. To do that, you take a regular vanilla water bottle, 2 ink sacs to get an ink vial. We will make 2 more of these, and then kill some more zombies. Because you can always use more leather. Am I right? Okay. Now we can take our ink vials, put them here in the ink mixer along with paper. You can see on the right here, we have link panels. I've got these 4, I can take another one out. Theoretically, you can add items by just clicking here in the center to the ink mixer. And depending upon what the items are, they can impart different properties into the link panel. If we were to put an ender pearl in here, for example, one of the properties it might impart into the link panel is one called intralinking. Normally, a linking book can only link to another age. That is to say, I could have a book that is linked to the Nether, and I could use it from the overworld, but I could not use it from a different part of the Nether. If I have the intralinking property, I could use it from within the Nether to get back to the place that has been marked with the linking book. And if that's a little bit confusing, I think it'll clarify itself as I show you exactly what we can do with these link panels. The first thing we want to do, though, is make, let's see if I got this right. There we go. A descriptive book. So a descriptive book is what you make to generate a new age. If you put other pages in here, and let me show you, we have some other pages that we found in chests, and that is the primary way you get them. You find them in chests. For example, this page, Mangrove Biome, would specify that one of the biomes used to make this new age would be the mangrove biome. Every other aspect of the age would be randomly generated. That includes things like how bright it is, the day-night cycle, the colors of the various foliage and sky, the biomes, how many they are and what pattern they're in, as well as a number of other properties. If I take this book, all of that will be completely random. But that gives us a chance that it could be really neat, and we could get a really cool age that we otherwise don't have the pages to create. In order to place these books, sticks and wood. Ooh, someone is making something cool. I think an ender quarry. This is probably for an ender thermal pump. Anyway, not something we are going to touch on at the moment. But using this, I can make a book stand. This is important because the books, unless they have the property called following, which again is something you can make using the ink mixer, unless they have that property, they will fall onto the ground and eventually disappear if you use them. If you put them in a book stand, they will stay there happily and not ever disappear. So, we can take this book, put it on the stand. It adds this nice label telling us that this will go to age 2. an as of yet unnamed age. Now the other thing we're going to want when we go in there is a linking book that returns us to this dimension. If I were to enter that dimension without a linking book with me, I would be stuck. It is entirely possible that I would be completely unable to return home. For you see, if you die in an age, you spawn in that age. If I were to die in age 2, I would spawn at the entrance to age 2. I would not come back here to the overworld. This is important because age 2 might not have any trees, or reeds, or water, or stone. Age 2 could be a big void, a void of nothing. If I were to enter that unprepared to return here, I would be completely unable to get back without the intervention of a third party, someone else on the server coming and bringing me a link book that returns me here. So, I'm going to take all appropriate caution to ensure that doesn't happen. I am going to make another book stand. And now is when I am going to look up the recipe for a linking book, because I forget how to make one. It's actually called an unlinked link book. And it's not telling me the recipe. Okay, that just means we have to play around some. I know for a fact it uses one of these link panel pages. Does it just take a piece of leather? Okay, it does. I'm not entirely sure why NEI wasn't actually allowing me to look up that recipe. But the important thing here is that wherever I am standing, the direction I'm facing, everything about what I am doing when I hit right-click while holding the link book is saved into the book. This book goes to the overworld. And in fact, I'm going to give it a more specific name and say it goes to the spawn cabin. Now, if I were to place this book on a book stand, it would say spawn cabin. But I can take it back off, and what we will do is go through this book into the new age, and then we will place this book down so we can return home. Here, I'll show you how it's done. Right-click on the book. It will open up an interface looking like this. It even tells who made the age. That's kind of neat. If you then click on this panel here, it will send you to the age. You can see already this age has the Ender star field. That means the sky looks like it does in the end. We will give it a moment to light up, generate the terrain. Okay, so this is pretty cool. The first thing you can see, there are mountains and mountains of dirt. No stone to be seen, and no grass. Those are all properties that have been determined by the random generation. You can also see that even the dark areas of this world look a little brighter than normal. That is because this world is bright, which is another random property. If we look during F3, we can see we're in a highlands biome. That is something that was randomly generated. And we'll go take a little bit closer look at what's going on here. But first, very importantly, conveniently we're at about 0, 0. And you will normally end up around 0, 0, but you cannot be certain it will always be 0, 0 that you are spawned at. So I like to make a waypoint. So this waypoint sends us home. I am going to take out my Staff of the Traveler. Oh, there's a little bird. That's very cute. far as I can tell, there are no suns in the sky, nor any moons, which is interesting. And one of the properties that can be controlled, and was randomly when we created the world randomly. The flora and fauna, I think, also get randomly determined, and we can see that, yeah, we have these little blue birds that I believe are native to the Promised Land from Biomes O' Plenty. We've got trees, we've got dirt, that's nice. It means it's possible, although not certain, that if we had... Uh-oh. Okay. Lag. If we had ended up here and had forgotten to make our linking book, we might have been able to get home. Now I think that what we have here is spring water. Oh, which is very nice. Added by Biomes O' Plenty and gives you the regeneration effect while you are soaking in it. But I believe can't be easily moved, which is the disadvantage. But we've got a native hot spring there, which is nice. Now, while I'm going through these highlands, I'm trying to see whether the biomes change. Okay, they changed to Taiga Hills, which indicates there is at least one other biome in this age. That's a eucalyptus tree there. Extreme Hills. Okay, so there are a variety of different biomes, which is the most common way you will find an age. What I like... Oh, there's some sort of change happening over there. Maybe a sun rising or setting, I suppose. I like very much that there don't appear to be any mobs on the surface at the moment. I can see on my mini-map, or could when I was closer to the ground, that there are mobs spawning underground, but I'm not getting a ton here on the surface. Sometimes you'll get an age that is cast in eternal storms, eternal night, something of that sort, and it will be swarming with mobs. This one, oh, I suppose now it is becoming this age's nighttime, even though I did not see a sun actually setting. Anyway, I think we will take that as our cue to head back to the portal. The reason I made this age is because, as I said, normally these linking books can only travel in between different dimensions. So, by using this dimension as a nexus, we can then have a single dimension with all the linking books to every other dimension we might want to travel to. So, for example, someone makes a base about 1,000 blocks from spawn. They want to be able to quickly travel back to the spawn cabin or have people come visit them easily. So they take one of these linking books and link it here to the Nexus. Now this linking book will teleport here to the Nexus. They also make another linking book, a second one, that teleports to their base. They place the book that teleports to their base here in the Nexus. They put the linking book to the Nexus in their base, and there you have it, two-way travel, much like we are now traveling back to the spawn cabin, and can easily travel back to the Nexus. Using this, we can easily connect everywhere we might want to go on the server. Here at spawn, if we find a nether fortress, to the end, to any dimension, except the Nexus. We can travel to the Nexus, but only to that one point. We can't then travel to somewhere else in the Nexus from within the Nexus. I did not say that the most eloquent way possible, but I think you might get what I mean. So, we are going to name this book so that everyone knows what its purpose is. The Nexus. And there we go. Now we have a nexus that we can use to connect everyone's bases. We also have this linking book for our own personal use. That will connect us to the nexus. Now, I am going to grab a chest here, if I can. Here we go. And we're going to put a chest next to that book. That we can put one of these link panels in. And we can do that, someone can use that, someone can use that in the future to make a book either to the Nexus or to their base. We will need this last link panel though, because it is going to be linked at our base to the to our base. We'll put it in the Nexus. It will connect to our base. So I'll show you how this works. If we make another book stand like so, and in fact we'll need one more book stand, which just means we need more sticks, or actually we can use this river cane, I believe. I think they are synonymous. Yes, excellent. Okay. Let me show you actually what happens if we use this book without putting it on a stand. So we're going to use this book that connects to the Nexus. And as you can see, the book is no longer in our inventory. But if we go back to the spawn cabin, we can see the book got left here on the ground. Now eventually, that book is it will start to take damage over time and eventually despawn. So you don't want to leave a book out if you can help it. And that's why they have to stay on these book stands. So that was actually, yeah, this was the wrong thing to do. I head back to the spawn cabin. I have picked out a place for us to build. I promised you I would. And as you might have guessed, the reason I spent this time setting up this Nexus dimension, which everyone should feel free to use if you're on the server, make your books, it'll be super helpful. But the reason I set that up at the moment is not only to help everyone who's slowly spreading out from spawn, but specifically so that we can easily move back and forth from our new base. If you look in the upper right at my minimap, you see we are following, coughing fit. Oh, goodness, I should get a glass of water after this. That base question mark, I believe, is going to become base exclamation point because it's pretty awesome. But yes, I made a waypoint. I found us a really cool place that I think we might want to build. And as I said, we are falling a little behind, so we will probably want to build soon and impressively, because really, you know, as the server owner and founder, I can't be shown up by everyone else on it. I need something to show for myself. So, we're only 250 meters away. As you can see, it's just a little over 1,000 blocks away from spawn, which all things considered is actually pretty close. And now you're seeing a little bit of why I chose it. Look at this thing! Okay, first of all, there's this plains biome over here. It's actually shrubland, which is too bad. Vanilla Plains has its advantages. But right here, look at this thing. This is pretty cool in my book. And there's a creeper. You haven't seen the best part yet. I will show you the best part as soon as I take care of these guys. Oh, thanks, zombie, for throwing off my aim. And lighting me on fire, of course. That is also very kind of you. It's okay. We're going to have to do some terraforming here anyway. I don't mind that much. Yes, as you can see, I claimed it and moved some of the things we found in chests that I was not currently willing to share over here. As you can see, we have that shrubland on one side, and on this other side, one of my favorite biomes. The cherry grove. Oh, it's just lovely. And right outside our door, we've got this village. Oh, and something I had not noticed until now. So that's a Thaumcraft greatwood tree. A Thaumcraft greatwood tree that happens to have a spawner under it, or would if it had generated all the way. A spawner and a chest is what's supposed to be. Ooh, hi, pal. Okay, and you took out one of my villagers, which is great. My favorite. I'm kind of shocked. I didn't know they did it in one hit. Okay, let's see. Let's find... Okay. Eat so that we regenerate some of our health. It looks like possibly someone has already been here. If you were already here and wanted to claim the place where I am currently deciding to build, tell me to leave your claim be if you want to. I don't know. I don't want to jump anyone's claim, although I was the only one who made a sign. Okay, these are relatively common, so I'm just going to take it out. And we did in fact find the spawner and the chest. Awesome. If someone was here before me, they did not fully explore the area. That's pretty cool. And I have to say, I have really been loving this wand of travel. Or should I say these wands of travel, because I have several. They've been making my life so convenient. See? Stuck in a spider web? Wand of travel. And I will repair the house, because I'm that kind of guy. I will keep the greatwood logs for now. I will probably end up taking out the whole of the tree eventually. For now, I'll just take the logs I've already harvested. And let's head back up to our base area now. Look at this. these natural columns and arches, they're just amazing. It's going to be a real hassle to make sure we light everything up. And historically, I have not been great at building with the landscape. Most of my most successful bases have been built on plains, where I can build up out of the landscape and not worry so much about what it naturally looked like. I'm going to challenge myself, though, this time. At least I'm going to try to, and maybe I'll give up and maybe I won't, we'll see. But I'm going to challenge myself to build with this landscape and try and utilize it as best I can. Because I think it's really cool. Anyway, I think we've just about reached the wrapping up point. What I'm going to do is come right down here. And next episode, I think we will start to clear out the area and maybe make a little hole in the side of the wall somewhere, start some of our mining, a temporary base to set up here while we set up our more permanent base. Because we're going to have quite a bit of building to do, I think, to really get the most out of this area. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.